It's Friday, March 6, 2026, and today actually marks the 65th day of the year. But we have a lot to discuss today, including a severe weather outbreak expected tonight and a major winter storm expected to hit the same area today. So in today's forecast, I will break down everything that you need to know about these storms that are posed to impact the United States significantly. Now I want to take a look at our severe weather outlook for today. We actually do have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center, indicating their confidence in this storm. You may have realized that I did not take a drink there in the intro. I'm not doing that anymore. That just seems pointless. But here we go. Here is a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk, surrounded by a level 2 out of 5 slight risk, and then a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk, with another level 2 out of 5 slight risk down here, including parts just south of Lubbock and Amarillo, Texas, in between like the Dallas and Lubbock area, and then we have that marginal risk that extends all the way up to the UP of Michigan, but mainly not all the way up into the UP of Michigan, just covering pretty much the whole state of Michigan. But our main tornado producers will be down here, probably in the Missouri, or in the Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma areas for today, which this does bring with it a level 10 to 14% slight risk, or like sort of say 10 to 15% probability of a tornado. This is intensity level 1. Like I said, this is a level 3 out of 7 risk, so it will not be a tornado outbreak like we have seen before. Won't be anything like the Joplin tornado, or like the Joplin, Missouri EF5, or like the 2011 tornado outbreak. Nothing like that, but will pose a threat for some pretty significant tornadoes up to EF3 or even higher. And this will bring with it some winds of potentially up to hurricane force, as there is a 15 to 29%, which highlights a 70 mile per hour winds, and then a intensity level 1, increasing the strength of the winds, causing it to be upwards of potentially 74 miles per hour, up to hurricane force winds. And this does bring with it a level 3 out of 5 hail risk for today. This is a 30 to 44% out of 60. And this highlights a big area where we could see up to DVD-sized hail. This is marked with intensity level 1, so there will be some sort of like golf ball-sized hail possible in the brownish areas, with potentially up to tennis ball-sized hail possible in the yellow highlighted areas, and in the red highlighted areas with the sort of intensity level 1. We can see up to DVD-sized hail in these surrounding areas. And yeah, that DVD size is bigger than softballs, so if you are out in this system, please be aware. Park your car under if you have a garage or like a little covering or something, so that way your car windshields doesn't get absolutely broke out. But it will be a crazy sight tonight for wind and hail and tornadoes. And tomorrow we do actually have a pretty big marginal risk extending all the way from areas like Syracuse, New York, all the way down to Austin, Texas, and even further south of that. And then we do have a pretty big slight risk that goes through the bigger cities like Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, even parts of Houston, and then Shreveport, Louisiana, parts of southern Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and even a little bit of Little Rock, extending through parts of Monroe, Louisiana, even into parts of Jackson, Mississippi, far west side of Jackson, Mississippi, and as well as another slight risk up here, more in the north, extending through areas like Pikeville, Kentucky. I don't know that many states up there, or that many cities up there, but extending through all of these areas, and will cause a pretty significant impact, bringing the threat of some isolated tornadoes as we move on into the day tomorrow. We actually do have a level 2 to 4%. We have 2 to 4% probability of tornadoes, and this is a level 1 out of 7 but it will pose a threat for tornadoes, as there will be some strong thunderstorms moving through all of these areas, and it does include a little portions of the northwestern Alabama, but includes bigger cities like Shreveport, Monroe, Louisiana, southeastern parts of Little Rock and Pine Bluff, even into Tupelo, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, Columbus, Mississippi, maybe Memphis, Tennessee, even into parts of potentially Knoxville, Tennessee. But yeah, it will pose a threat for tornadoes down there, as well as some areas up in Cincinnati, or like in Ohio and West Virginia, even into parts of northern Kentucky, ranging down from Pennsylvania and parts of New York as we move on into tomorrow. This does bring the threat of up to 70 mile per hour winds and potentially tennis ball or bigger sized hail. We are also watching the threat of some severe weather on Tuesday, bringing the threat of, like I said, 15 to 29% level 1 out of 2 severe weather risk. This is a day, I'm not even sure how many days out this is, so things definitely will change. This was only highlighted to these areas here, but it now has extended, and it will change again before we get to Tuesday. This also does pose a threat for some more severe weather as we move on into Wednesday, March 11th, which is still about 5 days out. And this will include lots of these areas, including southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, even into eastern parts of Texas, and potentially western parts of Mississippi, bringing some severe weather. And the line will continue to move through the southeast, bringing some rain showers as we move on into the Thursday hours, but there is no severe weather outlook issued for Thursday. And starting off about the time that I post this, around 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, this is what things will be looking like. We will have some scattered thunderstorms scattered all across parts of Iowa, Missouri, even into moving on into parts of Wisconsin, Illinois, ranging all the way back down even into Kansas, and some rain showers down there in the Oklahoma, Texas area. Nothing too crazy as of now, but there will still be the threat, like I said, of this winter storm moving in through today as well. And as we move on to about 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, this is what things will be looking like here. There will be some scattered thunderstorms moving on, like I said, into Wisconsin and everything like that, moving on even into parts of Michigan as well today. Now let's move out a little bit further to about 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. We will have some storms start to fire just in like areas like Topeka, Kansas, Omaha, Nebraska, as well as some storms down in potentially Tulsa, Oklahoma, just north of Dallas, Texas, and like into the southern and northern portions of Arkansas. And then we do have that pretty big winter storm begin to move across parts of Nebraska as well, tracking right behind all this severe weather. There's a little bit of some sleet and freezing rain mix in between that, but there, like I said, is the mix of the snow as well as the storms just off to the east of that. So things will be pretty crazy today, bringing the threats of severe weather and some freezing rain, sleet, snow mix today as well. And then as we move out a little bit further to about the 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, this is what things will be looking like. Nothing really changes too much on the 9Z model. Now that was as far out as the HRRR model goes. Here is our look at our NAM model here. This, as you can tell, it's a little bit less detailed and has less graphics, but there still is the same threats of the winter storm scattered all the way from Colorado Springs all the way up through Minneapolis, Minnesota, even up to southern parts of Thunder Bay and Canada, as well as the threat of some severe weather on the eastern side of this system, mainly ranging in this circled area, as well as the threat for some rain showers to start off down there in the southeast, but nothing too crazy, as the storms will be on the warmer side of things and the snow and stuff will be on the colder side of things as we move throughout the day into about the 3 a.m. Central Standard Time hours on Saturday. These are nighttime storms, which is one of the most worst storms that you can get. You never want storms to hit overnight, especially tornado producing storms, because of the threat of tornadoes, obviously, as people will be asleep and in their beds during this outbreak, and that is never something that you really want, as people won't be receiving that many alerts. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts, guys. It is important to stay aware of the weather, because these are not like storms that are going to just watch out for your house. They're not just going to dodge your house. Sometimes people think that oh no, it's 3 miles away from me, it's not going to dodge my house, or it's going to dodge my house. No, it's not, guys. It could, but there's still that chance that it will hit your house, and you always want to be aware of that, or your home or building or whatever you're staying in at the time of the event. This will begin to move through parts of Arkansas and into Memphis, Tennessee, as we move on to about the 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, around noon time on Saturday. But tonight will be a big night tonight, guys, for storms, and I will be live tonight, probably starting about, I don't know, even 6 to like 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Whenever the first like confirmed tornado warning pops up, I will be watching everything closely. I've already got my live stream ready to start whenever a tornado warning pops up, guys. We'll not be able to go live for anything before the 5 p.m. Central Standard Time hours due to school, and then athletics after that until about 4 to 4:30. And then I'll have to get ready for the stream here. Everything is pretty much already ready. I got my room prepared for the stream. We got the green screen all set up and everything. But yeah, these will start to fire up around 3 a.m. for these highlighted areas, and we'll start producing tornadoes once it sort of moves on into this area in the middle here. There will be the threat for all of that as we move on into the day. Like, once we erase this like outline here, I guess you could say, that small little circle is where we could be seeing the most tornadoes as we move on into the day. Here, I'm going to make y'all a little bit of a better drawing here. Here is where all the severe weather will range from. All right, guys, it will range from all of these areas, with our prime tornado threat in this area here. So it's definitely something that we're going to be watching through the next few days, through the next few days. I keep on saying that. It's something we'll definitely be watching throughout the day, and if anything changes, we will try to post a new video the fastest that we can, whether that be through short form video, whether that be through a live briefing, whether that be through a long form video like this. We will be there to update you whenever things change. But this line will begin to move through the eastern side of the United States, causing some rain and thunderstorms as we move on to about the 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time hours on Saturday, producing their tornado threat for the highlighted areas over here that we looked at earlier, as well as the highlighted area up here. So there will be lots of tornado threats today, moving on into tomorrow, and things will change for the Tuesday and Wednesday system, but we will let you know whenever we get closer to that, as things are obviously going to change. It's still so many days out. But as we move on to Sunday, March 8th, around 10 a.m., this is what things will be looking like, but I don't think y'all care really what things will be looking like on Sunday, as that is not a severe weather threat. Now, lots of things have to occur to get what we call a tornado outbreak, and I believe today will be a tornado outbreak. It just won't be the most significant tornado outbreak. In order for this to happen, we need to have cold, dry air with not a lot of moisture coming down from Canada, and that whenever that clashes with the warm, moist air coming up from the Gulf, it sort of creates a clash between two opposing air masses and forms what we call our severe weather, and it mainly forms our cape, which fires up our severe weather, which fires up the wind shear and everything to have ingredients to produce a whole bunch of tornadoes. So if we move this back to about right now, this is what things are looking like around the United States. We don't have a lot of moisture, but we definitely do have the moisture starting to fire up in the prime area for tornadoes. I will make a highlight here for us to see as we move throughout the model here. That is one of our main areas for severe weather. So we want to have a lot of prime moisture in that sort of highlighted area. And I believe we definitely will as we move on to 9 p.m. And then as we move on to 12 a.m., this will be a scattered line here of some severe weather like moisture, which will be providing the best sort of ingredients for the moisture. Then as we move on to about 12 p.m. on Saturday, this is what things will be looking like. It begins to move off of the sort of eastern coast here and just move off to the east. So it will bring our severe weather threat for the eastern part of the United States as we move on into Saturday, midday into afternoon. So this will really last all the way through Friday on into Saturday, or Friday night on through Saturday. So some Friday night plans may be canceled. Some Saturday morning plans may be canceled as well by the threats of severe weather. Now I want to go ahead and take a look at our CAPE here, as CAPE stands for Convective Available Potential Energy. We have convective storms, and the convective obviously stands for storms and stuff, but it is what CAPE provides energy for these storms, and sort of just fuels all of these storm systems to have more prime ingredients for tornadoes. And then as we watch this area throughout the day, we will have a lot of surface-based CAPE, moving on to the afternoon hours, evening hours, moving on to the early morning hours on Saturday, including 12 to 3 a.m. There will be lots of CAPE, especially down here in our Texas area and Oklahoma area, where we want where the Storm Prediction Center wants to see these storms, which will be right here. And believes that these storms will occur. So there will be a lot to look at for this system in the live stream today. We will, like I said, we will be live later tonight in the evening hours, being live all the way through probably about 3 to 4 a.m. on Saturday. So tomorrow will be a day that I will be live all overnight tonight, and then we'll sleep throughout the day tomorrow. So if you haven't already, make sure to go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are currently at 191 total subscribers. My goal for the end of today or tomorrow is at least 200 subscribers, just for the live stream. And we might hit it while we are live. We hit 100 subscribers while we were live not too long ago, and now we are approaching the 200 era, I guess you could say. However, that was all we had to talk about for today's video. I hope you got something out of this. Be prepared, guys. Don't be scared. Be prepared. That is a saying by Ryan Hall, and I think it is a perfect saying, so I'm going to say that as well. But don't be scared. Be prepared, guys. It is something that we all need to keep an eye on, no matter whether you have been through this before. There is a threat that you will be going through it again, no matter if you think that it's not going to be as significant as you think. Go ahead and leave a comment down below on if you're prepared for this or not. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video with your friends and family to help spread weather awareness and get the word out to more and more people. And it even helps by liking and subscribing, because YouTube sees that y'all like the video and it shares it out to more and more people to help get the word out as well. Like I said, hope everybody got something out of this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video, or I'll actually see y'all in the live stream tonight. As always, stay safe. Peace.